Okay, so I'm making a new recipe. I guess I'll tell you the ingredients here. I've already actually mixed all the ingredients together and I'm doing the mixing them all together. But I added 50 grams of starter, 350 grams of water, 500 grams of flour, and a teaspoon. I actually used a teaspoon and a half of salt. So now I'm just getting it all combined. There we go. So I mixed it all fairly well with the spatula here. And now I'll just squeeze it all together and make sure everything's all wet. All the flour's all wet and everything. And just squish it all in together with my hands. Clean off the sides of the bowl as well as I can. There we go. There we go. Looks pretty good. We're getting there. Almost all mushed in together. I don't see anything dry anymore. That looks good. Just get it all in the center of the bowl here and cover it up with plastic, and I'll stick it in a nice draft-free spot. And about an hour from now I'll do my first folding and I'll see you then. Hello. I made another batch of dough. I'm trying out every recipe I can find, and this one looks the most promising, actually maybe the easiest one. I actually already mixed the dough and then thought, oh, I should be recording this. So I mixed the dough, and about 12 o'clock today, or 1 o'clock, or pardon me, I'm confused, 11 o'clock. And I turned it at about 12, and it's time to turn it again. This is a nice simple one to do the turning, so let me just get a little bit of water to wet my hands. And here we go. I'll tilt it so you can actually see what I'm doing. You just grab the corner like this and fold it over. Grab the next corner, fold it over, all the way around. And you do this, I'd say I usually do it at least a couple of times all around. And then I'm going to let it sit again for another hour and do this and repeat this step. So you do this anywhere from, I always do it 4 times. So 4 hours, once every hour. And that's good. So now I'll just cover it up with plastic again. And I'll be back in another hour to repeat this process. Okay, so I'll see you again later. Well, I did all the stretch and folds. This is going to be the last one for the night, I should say. And then I'm going to put it to rest until morning. And then in the morning, one last stretch and fold and put it in a banneton for baking. I might make a cinnamon raisin loaf. Sounds yummy to me. I'll just wet my fingers a bit to do this, and again I'll tilt the bowl. Camera's not, I don't have a high enough position to put the camera, so this way you can see what I'm trying to do here. So we'll do that same little stretch and fold. I added some nuts to the dough. It's a pretty moist dough here. I don't know anything about that hydration thing, so I can't tell you a percent. But like I mentioned before, I wanted to basically try out all the different recipes I could find. And this one, the technique seems pretty simple. And I'm kind of betting that you could do the same technique with any of the recipes, as in, you know, mix the dough together, wait an hour, and then do these little stretch and folds 4 times and rest for the night and bake in the morning. Well, almost bake in the morning. If I'm not ready to bake so early first thing in the morning, then I'm gonna just give it a stretch and fold and let it sit for a while. But then again, if I want to put it in the batter tin, it'll sit in the fridge for 3 to 6 hours. So yeah, I'll do that. So far, I'm really liking this method. This is easier than all those other stretch and folds on the counter and the slap and folds. And it's a really nice. I like the consistency of this. So I'm just about done with these, and then I'll cover it up and put it to bed. I actually started this. I'm at what was it? I believe, if I remember right, it was 11 a.m. My intention was to bake it tonight, but I don't know. It's like 8:30 already, and I went out shopping and stuff, so it kind of delayed my timing. And I just don't feel like doing any baking. It definitely can't sit in the fridge for 6 hours. For tonight anyway, so it probably could be ready to go from the feel of everything. But like I say, I was making regular bread, yeast breads, for years and years, and just kind of still think that way. So I'm done with this. I'm going to cover it up with plastic and stick it back in the oven until tomorrow morning. I'll see you then. Bye for now. Good morning. My dough's ready. I'm going to just give it a couple of folds so that I can bring it out of the bowl. And I'm going to shape 2 tiny loaves to put in this one bread pan. I'll wet my fingers a bit. Wow, let's see if you can see this. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. I think this is the best part of making the dough. don't know, what did I do with my scraper? Oh, it's right there. There we go. Just trying to be a little bit gentle with it so I don't deflate everything. Ooh, sticky. So now we'll just cover that up with plastic and put it in the fridge for 3 to 6 hours, and then it's baking time. So here's how it looks in the pan. I'm just hoping that once it rises and bakes, it'll have that split there, and I can split it up into 2 loaves. Because it's just me eating here, I was really pleased to see that this recipe actually is enough to make a full loaf of bread. The other recipe I was using made a tiny loaf. I used this pan. So it did make a tiny loaf. So I'm hoping this will make a bit of a bigger loaf than what was made in this one. So, but here you go. Now I'm just going to cover it up with plastic. And like I said, put it in the fridge. And I'll see you again later. Okay, there we go. The bread's done. I almost forgot to record this. Here's the bread out of the oven, basically. As you can see, it's kind of in two little sections. It won't just break apart, though. Well, maybe it will, but I'm just going to leave it. It's pretty, I think. I forgot to slash it, but oh well. I actually forgot to slash it, and that's always been kind of like my favorite part. But there's the crumb. I think it looks nice. There you go. I think that's pretty. I just love this bread. But there we go. Gonna have a buttered slice right away. It's nice and cooled down. I don't cut it anymore until it's cooled because I've had the gummy. I've had the gummy bread because I cut it too soon. But anyway, there you go. There's this was a really nice recipe. I like the method of the little stretch and pulls, and just spending the extra time with the stretch and pulls, and then letting it sit overnight and baking it basically in the morning. In the morning, I can't remember now if I mentioned earlier in the earlier part of the video, but in the morning what you do is a gentle stretch and pull. You don't want to destroy all the bubbles, and if you're using a banneton, then you put it in your banneton, get floured and all that so it doesn't stick, and put it in the fridge for 3 to 6 hours, and then take her out and bake her. I didn't use a banneton. I just put it straight into the bread loaf, and I refrigerated for, I believe I had it about 4.5, maybe 5 hours in the fridge, and baked it at 450 for 30 minutes. So I'm really pleased with this recipe, with this method of doing it. I think I'll do this way all the time. It's just the easiest way. The first few loaves I ever made were total failures. You know, it just takes a while, I guess, to get the knack of things. But I think I've got it down because this is really nice. The recipe does call it does make kind of a smallish loaf. It's, I don't know, maybe that's a pound. I haven't weighed it, so I don't know. But anyway, so that's it for this loaf of bread. I'm gonna butter up and have a bite. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you like and subscribe. Bye.